My name is Andrew Williams,
My name is Brandon Beacon.
and we are doing the lie detector project for Microcontrollers ECE 3710 at Utah State University. So the idea behind this project is we wanted to implement a lie detector similar to a polygraph. Now, polygraph tests generally use a combination of different sensors that register biological inputs such as heartbeat, blood pressure, galvanic skin response, which is basically how much you're sweating, and other typical biological responses like those. And typically you have an interrogator and a test subject. The interrogator monitors these responses to tell if someone is lying. And now with our project, we chose to implement two different sensors that monitor the galvanic skin response and your heartbeat. The microcontroller determines if you're lying and shoots you if you lie.
So like Andrew mentioned, we have two inputs. The first one being a pulse sensor. It's basically just a little pressure pad that's very, very sensitive. And you hook it to your finger and it measures the pulse data. The second one we have is the galvanic skin response. Essentially, this is your skin's resistivity. When someone has a nervous response, their skin resistivity goes down because they start to sweat ever so slightly. Not often enough that people will recognize it, but often enough that a small voltage divider can pick up the difference. So we built a small voltage divider like that using a 10 kilo ohm resistor so that it can pick up the differences in skin resistivity. When it does register that there is a lie in the microcontroller using those two inputs, it outputs to a stepper motor, which is attached to the back of a Nerf gun, which when the stepper motor spins, it will pull a string, which pulls the trigger on the Nerf gun.
And as far as the software goes, we have 5 basic states. In our first state, we initialize all of our peripherals and GPIO pins. In the second state, we have a test state that just waits for the software to calculate a BPM, which the BPM is calculated by detecting the peaks and the troughs in the pressure sensor, which is the heartbeat sensor, and timing the interval between those peaks. And from that calculation, we can accurately get a BPM. From there, you can press the center button to advance to the baseline. And this is used to get a baseline of when you're answering normal questions, when you're calm, so we can accurately detect when the test subject is lying. From there, we advance to the actual lie detection state, and we use the baseline resistivity and BPM to detect spikes in either of those responses. And if the user's biological responses exceed a certain threshold, then the microcontroller goes into the shoot state and triggers a stepper motor, like Brandon was saying, and shoots you, usually in the face. At which point you can see which, on the LCD screen, which of the responses actually triggered it, see the BPM and the relative resistivity of your fingers.
Now, lie detectors aren't perfect. You can't use it in a court case or anything like that, and we found that was true with ours, especially since we were only using 2 of the many different sensors that are generally used in a standard polygraph test. However, we found in our testing that it could accurately detect lies about 60 to 70% of the time, depending on the person and depending on how many times they had run it. Because generally people are a little bit nervous the first couple times and they have to do a couple dry runs before they start to get calm. So if you take a long enough baseline and if you ask the right questions, then it will detect a lie and it will definitely detect when people get nervous.
Okay. Please state your full name.
Elizabeth?
Cool. So, Elizabeth, tell me, are you going to lie to me today?
Yes.
That is the truth. Not a good sign. Okay. Good to know. Tell me, if you were by a railroad, there is a train. One is going to hit Jason. The other one is going to hit everyone else in this room. Who would you choose?
I'm in this room. Everyone else in this room.
Is that the truth?
No.
Which one was a lie?
I don't know what I would choose. It's a stressful situation. Okay, I'm sorry.